Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This is a science fiction novel that takes place in a futuristic society where reading books is banned. By the way, in case this is ever on Jeopardy, 451 degrees is the temperature at which paper burns. This is Guy Montag. Guy Montag is a fireman, but not the type of fireman you'd think. The firemen that start fires instead of putting them out. The first major event in the story is when Guy Montag meets Clarice, his strange next-door neighbor. One conversation he has with Clarice leaves him extremely disturbed, and most of them leave him questioning about his life. The catalyst of this feeling is a question from Clarice, asking him, "Are you happy?" Clarice is a symbol of innocence in his life and becomes a daughter-like figure to him throughout the book as their conversations continue. But as he goes home, he sees his wife, Mildred, passed out on the floor with a bottle of sleeping pills completely empty next to her. Mildred is his wife, even though she has absolutely no idea what's going on and pretty much for more than half of the story. The next event that occurs is that Guy Montag and Clarice continue to talk. The more they talk, the more she becomes like a daughter-like figure to him, until one day, she just disappears, and all of the conversations do too. The next day at work, Montag is called in with his rest of his firemen to burn down a house of an old woman who has lots and lots of books in her home. The old woman is extremely sad, and Montag doesn't really understand why, so he steals a book to find out what all of the fuss is about. Even as her house is going down in absolute flames, she will not abandon her books. And so she lights a match and kills herself in the fire as the firemen drive away. The next event is that Guy Montag stays home from work sick. And Beatty comes over to make sure that he returns the book that he stole. Although, in not so many words. Beatty basically tells him that he knows that he has the books, but Montag won't admit to it. He hides the book underneath his pillow. Then Montag goes and shows the books inside of the ventilator to his wife, Mildred. Next, he goes and visits his old friend, Faber. Faber gives him an earpiece called the Green Bullet, and he gives this to him in order for him to communicate with him, to help him on his journey to support the books and create a better society. Then he goes home and sees that his wife Mildred is with two other women, Mrs. Phelps and Mrs. Bowles. The women are watching TV, and Montag decides to read a poem to them. They then are absolutely horrified and go away from the house forever. Then Montag is called back to work, and he pulls up in a fire truck, but little does he know that it's his house that he pulls up to. The sirens are rearing, and he becomes extremely, extremely nervous. Then he has to burn down his own house, but in the process, he winds up killing Beatty and the mechanical hound with a flamethrower that he obtained because they asked him to burn his house with the flamethrower. Killing Beatty is extremely significant, as well as the mechanical hound. Then goes to Faber's house on the run, and Faber winds up helping him, although he cannot stay there. He then goes to the river, and as he floats down the river, he meets Granger and his friends. Granger and his friends are the society group that have all been kicked out of society for reading books and decide to keep books in their memories by memorizing certain parts of the book. And Montag's is Ecclesiastes. Then they turn around and they see that the city has been completely burned down and bombed from the war. And finally, Montag decides to read the ending quote of his book of Ecclesiastes. On either side of the river was there a tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits and yield her fruit every month, and the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations.
The main theme to take from this is sometimes you have to go against society and make your own rules.